here, so I call it Shopaholic Paradise. And over here on our right, we are a block away from the Alamo. Between the Alamo and the mall is the oldest hotel west of the Mississippi. It's called the Menger Hotel. And if you get a chance to check it out, be sure to go to the hotel bar. That's where Teddy Roosevelt recruited the Rough Riders to go to Cuba for the Spanish-American War. There are actually bullet holes in the wall from gunfights back in the 1800s. Now, everyone, I have it on good authority that the Menger Hotel is haunted. A friend of mine used to be a manager there, swears he has seen the ghost of a hotel maid walking up and down the hall. It's been featured on some of those ghost hunter type shows on cable, so there's lots of really cool history there. Now, as we come around the corner here, on the other side of this little island, if you look immediately to the right, at the top of this hill, there is a 7-foot-tall bronze statue of St. Anthony de Padua. This statue was a gift to the city from the country of Portugal. Yeah, right back here behind us. Now, don't worry if you missed it. I know that's a sharp turn. You'll have another chance to see it when we come back at the end of the tour. Now, St. Anthony is the saint that we were named for, San Antonio. The way that came about, over 300 years ago, on June 13th, 1691, a priest named Father Damien Massenet performed the first known Catholic Mass ever done on this river. Father Massenet blessed the river, the San Antonio, because June 13th is the feast day of San Antonio. And as the town grew up around it, we took our name from the river itself. Now, not everybody knows this, but St. Anthony is the saint of small children. So the little ones on the boat tonight are covered. Now, right over here on the right, we're going to pass in front of St. Joseph's Catholic Church. St. Joseph's was built in 1868 by local German settlers so that they'd have some place they could worship in their native language. And to this day, to celebrate their heritage, on the last Sunday of every month, the choir still sings in German. Now, a little history trivia for you. Around the year 1900, the most commonly spoken language in San Antonio wasn't English or Spanish, it was German. We had a huge influx of German settlers in the 1800s. Now, over here on the left, we're passing in front of the Hilton Palacio del Rio. Palacio del Rio is Spanish for River Palace, and it's a couple blocks away from a La Quinta Inn. And of course, we all know that La Quinta is Spanish for hotel next to a Denny's. It's true, right? Now, the Hilton was built for the visitors to the World's Fair, but 11 months before the fair started, they had already pre-rented every room, but they hadn't started construction yet, and that was a problem. So the city took the contract away from the first company. They gave it to a local company called H.B. Zachary, because Mr. Zachary guaranteed the city they'd get it done in time for the fair. The way they made that happen, they set up a staging area about 8 miles south of here. That's where each of almost 500 hotel rooms were completely built and furnished. Now, when the rooms were ready for people to stay in them, they'd load them onto flatbed trucks, roll them up here, and use helicopters and cranes to raise them up and slide them into slots in the side of the wall. So it was a lot like watching a really big Lego building go up. Now, this is the Hilton right here in front of us on the other side of the bridge. We made the Guinness Book of World Records with this hotel. From the time they started building it till the time it was ready for people to stay here, it only took 202 days to finish. It's the fastest that any building this size has ever gone up. Now, the modular rooms, the ones that were built off-site, begin just above the 4th floor. The columns between the rooms were the first part that was built. That's where they put the electrical and plumbing work. And then they loaded the rooms by stacking them one on top of the other all the way up to the top. Now, see how thick the walls are around each room? They had to make them extra strong because they were moving them around and stacking them. But the end result is each of these rooms is completely soundproof, fireproof, and explosion-proof. So this is a very safe, very quiet hotel. Now, the area that we're driving into right here is called La Villita. La Villita is Spanish for little village. And this whole area was settled in the 1700s by Spanish colonial soldiers. Now today La Vida is an artisan village. It's right up there on the street level. They've got shops and restaurants and art galleries here. And the two restaurants on the left, the buildings that they're in were homes of German settlers that were built in the 1800s. Now, right here on the right, this big green thing, I know it looks like a water tower, but remember, you're on the Riverwalk now. That's the world's largest margarita machine. And the area that we're driving into right here is the Arneson River Theater. On the left, there's enough seats for 800 people. And on the right, there's a stage where we have all kinds of live events. Now, did any of you see the movie Miss Congeniality? Do you recognize that stage? That's where they filmed the swimsuit competition. So Sandra Bullock was just a few feet away, right over here. Now, the 5 bells behind the stage represent the 5 missions that were built around the city in the 1700s. And of course, the most famous of those is the Alamo. Now, the little bridge that we're going under right here is called Rosita's Bridge. It was named for Rosita Fernandez, and Miss Fernandez was a singer and dancer who performed on that stage every year for 26 years. She was in an annual show called Fiesta Noche del Rio. She was also in the movie The Alamo with John Wayne. And everyone, this is my favorite part of the river for looking at the lights. I just love the way they make a canopy here. And then you got the building that says Season's Greetings right behind it, so it's extra pretty if you want to take pictures here.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Now, the Riverwalk was designed by a young architect named Robert Hugman. We call Mr. Hugman the father of the Riverwalk, but he was only 27 years old when he came up with the idea for all the sidewalks and the bridges and the fountains, everything that makes the San Antonio River the Riverwalk. The city approved Mr. Hugman's plan in 1929, but they didn't start building it until 1939 because of the Great Depression. Now, the bridge that we're going under right here is the